We return once again following the story of Jawbone. Beginning their search of these new lands in the Grand Plains, they see a familiar creature in the distance, a Tyrannosaurus Rex. Already facing them before, they decide not to hang around and search for a new area. Eventually making their way towards the savannah. With their familiar scent in the air, Jawbone stops and sees another Tyrannosaurus Rex. Nightshade does not want to hang around. The scars on her tail still prominent from the last time a Rex attacked. Continuing their search for somewhere to hunt. The scavenged remains are not enough to satisfy these two. They must continue their search for food elsewhere. Something is nearby. Remaining low to reduce their sound, they begin to stalk to see what is around the corner. A family of Dinosaurs. Jawbone and Nightshade have fought these before. With that much of a head start, it would be a challenge to catch up to have a successful hunt. So they continue on their own path in the hopes there's something else to hunt. Eventually finding their way on the edge of the forest, they sense there's something nearby. Listening intently for any sound. Unfortunately, weather has other ideas and ruins any chances of hearing their prey. In a last-ditch effort, they begin to search the burrows in hopes something is seeking shelter there. Unfortunately, this time, there is no such luck. They will have to continue on again in search of anything to eat. We find they've picked up the scent of some herbivores. Seeing that it's a clear field, but with herbivores' favourite snack, berries. They begin to position themselves in the undergrowth, setting up an ambush. After waiting an hour, eventually they hear something approach. They must continue to remain hidden as to not spook anything. A Margosaurus. A single adult would be enough to feed these two, but in a family it could be difficult to take down the adult. The easier target would be to take on one of the children or young adolescent. As close as the herd is, the daspletosaurus have to wait for the perfect opportunity. Unfortunately, something spooks the herd and they begin to leave. Nightshade and Jawbone are going to have to break for cover and continue hunting them down. Continuing to stay low gives them the best advantage to pick up their trail without setting off any more alarms. The thicker undergrowth provides much cover, but it is difficult to navigate with the fallen logs and stumps. But the daspletosaurus must remain as quiet as possible, otherwise it could ruin their hunt. Nightshade has picked up the scent and pushes on forward, not wanting to lose the herd completely. Something has marked their scent on the tree, and Nightshade picks up on it. Hoping they're just over this ridge. An empty field. They have a good look around to make sure there's nothing sleeping in the open before continuing to push forward, searching yet again. They hear their marker in the distance and head straight towards them. They are getting close. Now the challenge. Getting down there without being seen. A young eotrike, a perfect meal for the pair. Nightshade gets close and uses her tail to communicate with Jawbone, not wanting to make a sound. Using the Amarga's steps to mask their own, they manage to walk closer, going unnoticed again. The eotrike sleeps, unaware of what is nearby and what dangers it's in. They rush forward. A quick kill. Nightshade wants the juiciest parts to herself. Not much flesh on the face. Jawbone has to reposition himself and hope he doesn't get bitten. It is rare to see no challenge for the food. This is a good sign for the couple. This young eotrike will fill their bellies, a much needed feast for the two. Having their fill, they will drink together before retiring for the night. As the Amargasaurus watch on from a distance, happy that none of their young were taken, Jawbone finds an adequate spot to rest. Let's just hope that Nightshade approves. He allows her to pick where she wants to rest, and she is happy, but not one to talk. Another successful hunt complete. The Amargasaurus herd continue on, waking the daspletosaurus. It's not a smart move. They quickly retreat into the distance. The Amargasaurus didn't travel far enough, and the daspletosaurus have picked up their scent once again. Hopefully for their sake, Jawbone and Nightshade aren't hungry enough to hunt. Continuing on, they follow the herd, maybe hoping for a straggler. But something else seems to have Nightshade's interest. And she heads in a different direction from the herd. What has she picked up? The constant checking on Jawbone is a very good sign. She wants to know where he is at all times. But something else approaches. The pair listen intently. Another daspletosaurus. A paired daspletosaurus rarely will team up to make a trio, especially if it's not of their own kin. Though it's not mating season yet, they continue to talk back and forth. As it gets closer to mating season, they would be highly aggressive to any other newcomers. But daspletosaurus will not tolerate too long. And eventually, their curiosity and anger will override any other senses, especially if they get too close. I think they've had enough and no longer want this daspletosaurus nearby. They listen carefully to see if they make any sounds. The unfamiliar daspletosaurus is wise enough not to stay. Eventually making their way to a new river, the Spinosaurus rests in the middle. They take a risk getting water here, as the Spinosaurus may have claimed this as their own. Not wanting to test the Spinosaurus, they make a smart decision and go and search for water elsewhere. This is his river. pair of Allosaurus see the Daspletos and decide it's not worth their time. Nightshade scares them off without any dramas. Returning back to the Grand Plains once again. This time, it's full of life. A herd of Barsboldia rule the plains. They're a bit too large for the daspletosaurus pair. Water is their main priority. This river is normally full of sarcosuchus. Luckily for the Daspleto pair, there is a territorial dispute happening, making it safe to drink. With all these herbivore around, the pair need to find a decent spot to set up an ambush. With a Metrocanthosaurus and a Concavinator fighting, they decide to sit and wait, conserving their energy. Eventually, the Concavinator proves victorious. Nightshade and Jawbone move in to feast. As the scavenger takes the one last piece, they use their sheer size to claim their food, Jawbone allowing Nightshade to take the first bite. As a family of Pycnonomosaurus stand by and watch. And the Allosauruses return, putting this pair in a tight spot between two other carnivore packs. The Pycno attack the Concavinator. Ending it quickly. After the damage the Concavinator had taken, it's a surprise it would last as long as it did.